Hi. Welcome to Movies Reflexed. Today we are going to explain an action fantasy film Bright. Watch out for spoilers. Take care. The movie started while showing a police officer named Ward. He has a lovely family. He has a wife and a daughter. Ward used to have a nightmare every night. He gets scared and wakes up. This incident had happened. Someone has shot him, but now he was healed. Then why does he see nightmare? He has a friend who was also a police officer named Nick. He seems like an alien. Because he is actually an orc. It is also shown in the movie that humans, orcs, and fairies live together. Tonight Ward sees the dream as Nick has shot him. He wakes up and his daughter comes to him. This time, Ward was standing with his friend Nick. Ward's daughter says, "I want to go to grandmother's house." So, Ward and Nick takes her to her grandmother's house. His daughter says, "Father, I will miss you. I want you to quit this job. I don't want my father to face any problems or get shot." Like this, his wife was also worried about him. Ward makes them understand that it happens in this profession. But to see a dream again and again was an unusual and weird. His family also forbids to do any work with Nick because he was an orc means alien. Aliens and humans can't become friends. This alien is not trustworthy. And he doesn't even have a heart like humans. But Ward says, "No. I should give one more chance to Nick. Because everything can be solved with love." Now. Leaving his daughter there. Ward and Nick move to the police station. Reaching the police station, a companion of Ward's says, "I don't understand, why do you work with an orc? He can kill you." Others also make Ward understand. "Are your human companions dead? You are making friends with aliens." He also think. "What is the problem? Why are they all forbidding me to make this orc my companion now?" A meeting was going on. At the end of this meeting, after thinking a lot, Nick asks his head, "Can I change my partner?" In which he gets a negative reply. "No, now is not the time." Ward leaves from there. Then they get a news that a man is creating drama on the road. So, Ward and his companion Nick go there. Coming out of car, Nick points a gun at him. This man has a long hair and a dense beard. They make him sit in the car. The man starts talking, and he predicts something. Which Ward and Nick both were not understanding. Now, let me tell you what prediction that man was saying. He was saying the time is near when a man and an orc will save this world. It is clear that the people who are against Nick and Ward's friendship today will admire them for saving the world. They also don't know anything about it. Now, Ward was coming out after imprisoning the weird man. He meets two police officers. They tell Ward a shocking truth. They show him a report and tell him, "When you were shot by a bullet, it was done by an orc. We all know it. And if we had fought you case, we would have held that orc definitely. But your companion Nick was handling that case. He left your criminal just because he was an orc like him." Tell me, what kind of rule is this? There are humans. And humans can also imprison humans if he has done any crime. You also have to agree on this. That orc has shot you that day. We are giving you a recorder. Kindly record the conversation of your friend. We need evidence against him." The police officers also show him some things against Nick. Ward, who was trusting Nick, gets ready to keep an eye on Nick. Then we see two agents coming into this prison. They used to deal with the cases of magics or predictions. He couldn't understand, like this man predicts who has long hair. They start questioning him. "Tell us, how did you do this prediction? What did you think?" He tells them, "I know a lady who is in search of a magical stick." A girl named Tikka has that magical stick. If the lady finds the girl, it will be easy for her to find the magical stick. But I have an idea, if we were to search Tikka before the lady, then we will get the magical stick. Everything will be under control because there is a war coming. And no one will be spared from it. But by using the magic of that magical stick, we can stop the war. He was talking about the war in which a human and an orc will save humanity. On the other side, we see Ward and Nick together. They were told to go to a place where there were some strange activities going on. But the moment they reach there, it starts firing on them. They also fire as well. And one of their man was killed. The man who was firing at them. Then they start to move forward. But going inside they were shocked to see that this place was super weird. There were dead bodies everywhere. Like they were all being burned to death. When they moved forward, they see a witch on a wall. Then they called the agents who dealt with magic and studied them. Meanwhile, they feel like someone is running there. They begin to chase her. And after chasing a while, they finally catch her. And this girl was none other than Tikka. No one could reach her until today, and she has the magical stick. Of which that weird man predicted. Now, Tikka requests Ward that please, don't let anything happen to me, or my magical stick. Meanwhile, the other police officers also come there. And seeing that magical stick they become greedy. They say to Ward, we will kill this girl. And later we will say that orc had killed this girl. They were trying to making it look like that Nick has killed Tikka. And we will sell this stick for billions of dollars and we will divide the money among ourselves. Ward tells them, it's a bad idea. You will kill this girl only for money? With it, he shoots at all the police officers. After it, Nick comes. He says, I know you were told things against me. You think I spared your criminal who had fired at you. And why would I do this? We orcs have a strong ability to smell. The orc that was brought here, I have recognized him while smelling him. That he was not the orc who had fired at you. Don't you worry. If he comes in front of me, I will definitely shoot him. But why would I catch an innocent, just because I want the people to appreciate me? You tell me. Meanwhile, some gangsters come here. They order Ward to give them the magical stick. He points a gun at them and says, this is your misunderstanding. No and never I will give you that stick. Now, the gangsters become aggressive with Ward, that I will take the stick from you. To save this stick, Ward takes Nick and move from there in a car. Tikka was also in that car, they were driving the car speedily. The gangsters were also chasing them and were firing at them continuously. But, luckily their car was bulletproof. Now, while driving, they hear Tikka's voice from behind. Stop the car immediately. But Ward doesn't do this. Then the car crashes with an invisible wall. The car breaks apart into many pieces. Even though we can't see the wall, but it harms the car a lot. And it was actually a magical wall that created with that stick. After getting into accident, they leave from there. After some time, a huge witch comes there. When she sees that she doesn't have the magical stick yet, she directly goes to the place where there was a witch on the wall. While going there, she cuts her neck. And now, she is also in search of that magical stick. On the other side, we see Ward and Nick who were passing through a park. A gang also comes behind them in search of that magical stick. They begin to fight and the firing starts among them. On the other side, the agents arrive. When they see the neck of the witch is cut, then they come to know the huge witch still doesn't have the magical stick and that huge witch has cutted this witch's neck. That's why she is so aggressive. And also because she is weak. And we still have a very good chance of getting that magical stick before her. We can control her with it. The huge witch reaches the club. And the club that was teasing Ward, Nick and Tikka, she kills that entire gang and there was destruction in the club. And getting a chance from it. Ward, Nick and Tikka run from there. Ward then asks one of his friends for help. Then he calls some headquarters. Meanwhile, a bullet hits him and he dies there instantly. It means there was nobody that could help Ward. Seeing it, Tikka, Ward and Nick run from there. But the huge witch was behind them and Ward starts firing at her from his car. And this firing cycle goes on. When they were running through, the orcs people hold them. They also call Nick a traitor. Now, the leader of the orcs says to his son, shoot them. But the leader's son was actually the orc who was innocent and Nick spared him in the case. He says to his father, no. I cannot shoot them. Then the leader says, okay you go, I will do this. He comes to Nick and shoots Nick in the chest. Afterwards, Nick falls in a deep well. And Tikka feels bad seeing it that because of her, other peoples are getting into danger and being killed. She takes out her magical stick and revives Nick from its magic. Tikka says to Ward, now you know that I have the magical stick. But remember, the lady who is after this magical stick, you have to keep her away from this magical stick. Otherwise, she will wake up the devil through this stick. And also remember, then a huge war will begin. And it will be impossible to stop the war. Now, some lines begin to appear in Tikka's face. Because of using the magic stick to revive someone, her much energy was used. Now Tikka says to Ward. I have to go back to my house. There is a mysterious pond there. And I will be okay after taking a dive in that water. That water gives me energy. Ward tells her, Tikka, we cannot go there. That is your house and many people will be there while chasing you. Even that lady who also wants to get the magical stick. Then Nick comes to Ward. He tells him to save Tikka's life, we have to take the risk. If Tikka would die going there then she wouldn't even stay alive in here. She would have to die anyway. Why wouldn't we take the risk? Then while lifting up Tikka in his lap, they leave for the house. And which happens to be their fear that happens. Many people were behind Tikka and the magical stick. Even that lady was also there who wants to call the devil from the magical stick. Some companions of the lady were hidden under the tables. Some were stick with the wall. Going there, Ward and Nick take out rods from gaming board to hit the lady and her companions. Here, Nick kills a companion of the lady with a rod. He stabs the rod in his chest. Ward also holds the lady from behind. He starts hitting her. But the lady was really strong, and she was releasing herself again and again. Ward had already killed the companions of the lady. Now only she was left alive. But here we see that it is very difficult to kill her. Because whenever they give her any wounds, she heals immediately. Now Ward reaches the pond while lifting Tikka in his lap. There was also a tree in that pond. Its roots were touching the water. It was a magical water. Going in the water, Tikka starts healing. Getting a chance from Tikka's condition. The lady gets the magical stick. Seeing it, Nick comes in anger and he shoots at the hand. For which, the magical stick fell and it comes to Ward. Ward was about to pick up the stick. Then the lady says, if you pick up the stick, you will be killed. Now, Ward says I accept this. I even know that, if I die then people around me will also die. And it will be a pleasure for me if I can finish you with my sacrifice. But as Ward picks up the stick, nothing happens to him. Then Nick tells him, you are an elf. The lady then says to him that there is still time to return this stick. But Ward doesn't listen to her. Meanwhile, Tikka says to Ward, don't lose hope. She tells him some magical spells. Then after Ward saying these spells, the lady turns into ashes. She disappears. It means the war of the prediction of the man ends here. And truly, Ward and Nick together have saved the humankind. In the last scene of the movie, we see Ward and Nick getting medals for their duty. And with this the movie ends here. Thank you for watching.